What's up everyone, my name's Mark Hawk, and today we'll be taking a quick look at the AMK-5000 SportsCam. Now we have a bit of a difference in today's Quicklook format. Today's Quicklook is actually brought to us by the guys over at GearBest.com who sent us over an AMK-5000 to check out. Now they're offering us a discount code to give to you guys. That code is AMKRSRX, and it's going to knock the camera down to $72.99, which is about $20 off the retail price, which is pretty nice of them. It's not something they had to do, it's just something they kind of threw in. So we'll be going over a lot of things. I tested this up against a few other cameras that are in the similar price range for an upcoming test, so we're going to throw some of that stuff in there. We're going to go over some of the basic features and stuff like that, but let's get to it. So the AMK-5000 SportsCam is your basic GoPro-inspired action camera whose box probably was inspired by the XJ4000. It keeps itself simple and offering 2 modes and 2 recording formats. The camera retails for around $92 and allows for 1080p 30 frames a second with the option to swap it to 720p at 60 frames a second. It also offers a 12 megapixel sensor for images. However, to switch to any additional settings, you're going to need to connect the camera via Wi-Fi to your phone. Now, the default password for connecting your Wi-Fi is 12345678990. And then you're going to need to connect it using their AMK iCam software. Now, this app is available on Google, Android, and Apple devices, and on top of being the main way you change the settings for your camera, it's also a good way to preview shots, start recordings, and upload photos or videos to your phone. And the app itself is pretty snappy, it's pretty fast and responsive, and it's kind of surprising for such a budget camera to have such a decent app. So the body itself is very familiar. If you've seen a GoPro Hero 3 and you've imagined it in just a sort of black matte finish, and you put it in the Hero 3 housing, you've already got a good idea on what the SportsCam looks like. Now there are some changes though, such as the body's material. It's sort of built with a sort of light aluminum or metal that leaves it not feeling like cheap plastic, similar to the XJ4000 cam. Now the reason why I bring up the XJ4000 cam is because it's similar in price and quality, and the materials on this do feel a lot better. The back door and the battery is a lot easier to get open than I would say the SJ, but then it does have a tendency to get stuck sometimes. The front power button though has to be held down to power up. Simply pressing it and letting it go does nothing. And this can get kind of annoying when you're trying to quickly set up the camera. You'll just sometimes notice that you're going to go start recording and you didn't hold down the button long enough to turn it on. That takes about a good 2 to 3 seconds. You also have a USB for charging on the side, an HDMI out, and a micro SD card that supports cards up to 32 gigabytes. Sadly, there's no LCD screen on the back, and while the batteries look similar to GoPro Hero 3's, they're not actually compatible with those batteries. So don't pick up any of those thinking you could use them with this camera. They're actually completely different. They just look very similar, and they have the same amount of amps. The SportsCam has 3 bold letters on the front of the camera: FHD. Now, this might not mean what you think. It actually stands for Full HD, but I do think it's kind of an oversight to put the letters F and then HD in such bold letters on the front of your camera. But you might feel inclined to lean this way if you see some of the footage coming off the SportsCam. The video quality is kind of all over the place, and it can give off a strong muddy blue image even in some of the warmest scenarios. And the auto white balance is so sensitive it'll just flood your camera with blue and just wreck any great shots that you might have gotten that day. There's also a noticeable ring of light in most of the videos where the sun is anywhere in play. Maybe it's sort of the lens distortion or how the light is entering the lens. Either way, it's pretty intrusive and ruined a lot of the shots where the white balance wasn't completely off. However, the worst part is how the footage is being recorded. While your camera is filming at, let's say, 30 frames per second, you're actually filming at 30.30 frames per second. So for every 4 frames you film, you get 1 for free. So this can really throw off the timing if you're filming with multiple cameras. It makes it impossible for them to sync the longer the footage goes on. So if you're filming with a companion camera on a vacation or a track day, it's just going to completely make it impossible to sync. It's something completely unacceptable to Western standards of filming, and hopefully is something that is fixed in their first firmware update, or someone in the community hacks sort of an update for it. However, its up-close focus isn't bad, and neither is its appearance on cloudy days, but the low-light performance is pretty poor, and its issues with handling contrast are too all over the place to recommend it even as a car cam. I can't say too much for the audio as well. image quality, however, is a bit better. It offers a good amount of detail in each picture, the color quality seems more accurate, and the sharpness is even improved. However, the same ring issue we were seeing earlier in videos can show up and ruin an otherwise decent photo. Anyway, that wraps up our quick look of the AMK-5000 SportsCam. Again, this is brought to us by the guys over at GearBest.com, and again, they've provided a discount code if you want to check out the AMK-5000 SportsCam yourself. At checkout, you can use the discount code AMKRSRX, and it'll bring the price down to $72.99. Now, if you just want to go over to their site and just check them out, even if you don't want to pick up the SportsCam, they have a lot of action cameras you might not know about, and there's some pretty interesting ones we actually plan on taking a look at soon. So check them out, and it'll help support us. And if you want to support us more directly, you can check out our Patreon page, which is what we just launched to sort of help fund the action camera stuff we buy here, because it's all run out of pocket for the most part. We don't normally get review units like we have for this video, so that'll just help me feature more and actually have more time to do that. And if you want to see more of the AMK-5000, or you're in the market for a $100-ish camera, we're going to have a 6-camera face-off budget cameras coming up here in a few weeks. That'll be the upper left link. When you see that go from a red outline to a white outline, it's good to click on. So anyway, that just about wraps it up. Again, I'm Amkov Cam, and I'll see you out there.